I spent $10,470 testing 10 AI businesses. Which one do you think lost the most money? Drop your guess in the comments right now. To put that in perspective, worldwide spending on AI is forecasted to hit $2.52 trillion in 2026 alone. The entire AI market is projected to grow to nearly $2.5 trillion by 2034, so the opportunity is massive. And most of the advice out there is garbage. I'm going to walk you through the 7 brutal failures first, because they reveal a trap almost everyone falls into. But stick around for winner number 3. It's a simple retainer that brings in $8,000 a month from a single client, and it isn't what you think. So before we get to the winners, let's pour one out for the fallen. These are the 7 models that cost me thousands and taught me everything. Let's rip the band-aid off. The biggest failure, the one that cost me the most, was the AI content agency. I spent $1,500 on a Jasper AI subscription and a bunch of targeted ads, promising businesses unlimited blog posts and social media copy. My total revenue was $200, a net loss of $1,300. The reason this failed is simple. By 2026, it's anticipated that 90% of all online content may be AI generated. It's a race to the bottom on price, and you can't win. This is the classic commoditization trap. When you're just reselling a simple tool, your value disappears as the tech gets cheaper and easier for everyone to access. Pay close attention to why the AI chatbot agency failed. It's the most popular trap people are falling into right now, and the reason it fails is the key to understanding why the winners work so well. I set up a service building simple customer service bots using ManyChat. I landed a couple of small clients and brought in $500. The problem was my expenses for the ManyChat Pro plan, its AI add-on, and ads to find those clients came out to $800. That's a $300 loss. The problem is that platforms like ManyChat have contact-based pricing, so the more successful your client becomes, the more your costs go up, squeezing your margins until they vanish. It's a business model that punishes you for succeeding. The other 5 failures were smaller, but they all followed the same pattern. An AI-powered logo design service lost $200. A resume writing bot lost $150. An AI voiceover service lost $400. A social media scheduling tool with AI captions lost $600. And an AI-powered market research report generator, which cost me over $2,000 in API fees and ads and made back absolutely nothing. All told, these failures were a huge part of how I burned through $10,470 chasing ghosts. After losing thousands, I sat back and analyzed what all 7 of these failures had in common. The answer was shockingly simple, and it's the single most important lesson in this entire video. Every single failed business I tried had one thing in common. I was selling an AI tool. I was selling a blog post generator, a chatbot builder, a logo maker, but clients don't buy AI. They buy a solution to a business problem. They don't want a blog post generator. They want a system that brings them qualified leads and fills their calendar with sales calls. The winning models escape the commoditization trap because they aren't just a wrapper on an API. They provide a full, defensible solution to a complex business problem. They sell the outcome, not the technology. I've distilled this tool versus solution framework into a one-page checklist you can use to evaluate any AI business idea. It's completely free, link in the description. It'll save you from making the same mistakes I did. So how does this tool versus solution framework translate into actual revenue? The first winning model is a perfect example of turning a simple AI tool into a powerful, high-margin solution for a specific industry. The first winning model generated $2,800 a month in recurring revenue. It's an automated lead nurturing system for high-ticket coaches. This works because the market is desperate for it. Coaching businesses that implement AI solutions report an average revenue increase of 25%. They know they need it, but they don't have the time or technical skill to build it themselves. The backbone of the system is a platform called Go High Level, which handles all the marketing automation workflows. Instead of using its basic built-in AI, we're integrating it with a custom agent powered by GPT 5.2. This connection is made using a simple automation tool like Zapier or Make. When a new form is submitted in Go High Level, it triggers a webhook that sends the data to our custom AI. The workflow kicks off when a potential client for the coach fills out an inquiry form on their website. This immediately triggers the workflow, An automated SMS and welcome email go out instantly. Then, the magic happens. The form data is sent to our GPT agent. The prompt for this agent is critical. It's given a specific persona, like you are a friendly and inquisitive assistant for a business coach. It receives the lead's name and their answer to, "What's the biggest challenge you're facing right now?" The prompt then instructs the AI to analyze their stated problem and draft a personalized, open-ended follow-up question designed to start a real conversation, not just spam them with a link. The goal is human connection at scale. After a day or two, the system sends a piece of valuable content, like a link to a relevant case study. If the lead engages, they're tagged as high interest, and only then do they receive a direct invitation to book a call. This isn't just theory. A founder named Jody Cook created an AI version of herself called Jody AI, trained on her books and articles. It's embedded on her website and now generates over 300 leads per month for her business by engaging potential clients in a similar, automated, conversational way. The math on this is fantastic. I have 4 coaching clients paying $700 a month each. That's $2,800 in monthly recurring revenue. My expenses are the Go High Level Unlimited plan for $297 a month and about $20 in GPT 5.2 API costs. That's a total of $317 in monthly expenses. The profit is $2,483 a month, which is a 90% profit margin. This solution-first approach is the only thing that works. I saw a guy in a founder community, let's call him Mark. Mark built a slick AI tool that could generate beautiful pitch decks from a simple prompt. He spent months perfecting the design templates and the AI's writing style, but he only sold 2 subscriptions. Why? Because his customers didn't want a pitch deck generator. They wanted funding. They wanted a solution to the problem of getting a meeting with a VC. Mark was selling the tool, not the outcome, and he failed because of it. This model is perfect for marketers or anyone good with systems. So what if you're more of an analytical, numbers-driven person? The next winner takes that same solution mindset and applies it to a completely different industry. Winner number 2 is a service that brings in $4,500 a month, and it has an even higher profit margin. It's an AI-powered financial forecasting service for small businesses. The demand for this is huge. 91% of small businesses using AI report revenue increases, and they're hungry for tools that give them an edge over the competition. The tech stack is surprisingly simple. Google Sheets connected to the Claude Sonnet 4.5 API. Claude's newest model is exceptional at operating autonomously on data, generating entire spreadsheets and detailed analysis from a simple, natural language prompt. The process starts with setting up a secure shared folder where the client can upload their weekly sales and expense data as a simple CSV file. The core of the service is a master prompt. You instruct Claude to act as a chief financial officer for a small business. You tell it to analyze the provided data, identify the top 3 revenue trends, calculate the cash burn rate, and forecast the cash on hand for the next 90 days. You also ask it to flag any anomalies or potential risks, like a sudden increase in customer churn or a spike in a specific expense category. You're not just giving them a tool, you're delivering a finished, boardroom-ready report that identifies trends in their sales data, forecasts cash flow, and flags potential risks they would have otherwise missed. A key part of the service is addressing data privacy. This is a huge concern for businesses. We create a sandboxed, secure environment for each client, ensuring their sensitive financial data never leaks into a public model or gets used to train anything. This is a non-negotiable part of the solution. Look at a company like Claude CFO. They integrated artificial intelligence directly into their accounting products to give small businesses deep, actionable insights from their financial data, moving them from tedious manual data entry to strategic, AI-driven forecasting. The income math here is even better. I have 3 small business clients paying $1,500 a month each for weekly forecasting reports. That's $4,500 in monthly revenue. My expenses are about $200 a month in Claude Sonnet 4.5 API costs, since financial models are data intensive, plus $12 for Google Workspace. Total expenses, $212. That leaves a profit of $4,288 a month for a 95% profit margin. If you're getting value from this breakdown, do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. I'm documenting my entire journey building these AI businesses from the ground up, and I want you to have the playbook. That's 2 solid, scalable models. The final winner, though, is the one that completely changed the game for me. It requires more experience, but the payoff is on another level. This is the one I teased at the beginning. The final and most profitable model is a fractional AI officer retainer that brings in $8,000 a month from a single client. This isn't just a freelance gig, it's a slice of a booming market. The AI consulting services market is projected to hit over $90 billion by 2035. You're not competing with average consultants who make around $86,000 a year. You're providing executive-level strategy for a fraction of a full-time hire whose salary could easily top $151,500 annually. The key to this model is structure. You don't just show up and build things. You start with a 90-day charter co-signed by the leadership team. This document outlines 2 or 3 non-negotiable outcomes, like shipping one AI feature with a quantifiable revenue impact or publishing the company's first AI risk policy. Your role is strategic, focusing on 4 key areas. First is AI strategy and governance. This means creating a central playbook. You'll define what AI means for their specific business, identify the top 3 revenue-generating opportunities, and help them set up a review board to approve new AI projects so they don't waste money on shiny objects. Second, you'll establish responsible AI policies. You're writing the rulebook. This includes a data privacy policy for how customer information is used in AI and clear guidelines for employees on the acceptable use of tools like ChatGPT to prevent confidential company data from being leaked. Third is platform selection. This isn't about picking the coolest new tool. It's about auditing their existing software stack to see what powerful AI features they already pay for but aren't even using. Then you'll create a buy versus build framework to help them make smart, cost-effective decisions on new technology. Of course, even the best playbook is useless if no one on the team can run the plays. That's why your most important job is upskilling their internal team. Your goal is to eventually make yourself redundant. You'll run workshops on prompt engineering for the marketing team or train the dev team on a new AI API, creating internal champions who can carry the work forward long after you're gone. This model is already being used by established firms to help companies create an AI roadmap, get control of sprawling, unmanaged AI experiments, and prevent incredibly costly mistakes before they ever happen. You're not just an implementer, you're their strategic guide and safety net. So what kind of profit does a single high-value client generate? The revenue is one corporate client paying an $8,000 per month retainer. My expenses are minimal, maybe $150 a month for various software subscriptions and research tools. This leaves a profit of $7,850 a month. That's an incredible 98% profit margin from one single client relationship. So after that $10,470 experiment, we have 3 winning models, each for a different skill set. Here's the simple breakdown of which one you should actually start. If you're a marketer or you're good with systems and processes, start with the AI lead nurturing system. The tech is accessible with platforms like Go High Level, and the value proposition of more qualified sales calls is incredibly easy for clients to understand and say yes to. If you're analytical, you love spreadsheets, and you're comfortable with data, start with the AI financial forecasting service. Your ability to turn raw numbers into actionable business insights is the core of the service, and you can prove your value with cold hard numbers. And if you have 5 or more years of business or tech experience, you should absolutely aim for the fractional AI officer model. It's the highest leverage model by far, allowing you to have a massive impact and command executive-level income without a full-time commitment. The biggest lesson from this $10,470 journey wasn't about which AI model is best or which tool is the newest. It was that success comes from solving a painful, expensive business problem, not from selling the latest shiny piece of tech. Your first step for any of these is the same. Before you automate anything, run the process manually at least 5 times. If you can't get a client a result by hand, AI won't magically fix it. Prove the solution first, then add the AI.